There's a quiet financial leak happening in 3 states right now, and it's draining the retirement accounts of hundreds of thousands of seniors by $5,000 every single year. No headlines, no warning letters, no phone calls from anyone explaining it. Just money disappearing from their pension checks, their Social Security, their 401k withdrawals, month after month, year after year, while retirees living just a few hundred miles away keep every dollar. And the worst part, most of the people losing that money have absolutely no idea it's happening. Here's what nobody's telling you. There's a state in the middle of the country where retirees pay exactly 0 state income tax on Social Security, 0 on pensions, 0 on 401k withdrawals, and 0 on IRA distributions. No income cap, no phase out, no fine print waiting to bite you later. And most retirees skip right past it because the state technically has an income tax. And the moment people see those 2 words, they mentally cross it off the list. Meanwhile, retirees in 3 other states are quietly handing over $3,000, $4,000, even $5,400 every year in state taxes on retirement income that other states don't touch at all. So today, I'm breaking down the 3 worst states for retirement taxes in 2026 and the 5 best. Not based on rumors, not based on what someone told you at a dinner party, but based on exactly what each state does to your pension, your Social Security, your 401k, and your IRA this year. Before we go further, this video is for educational purposes only. It's not tax advice or financial advice. Always talk to a qualified tax professional before making a decision that affects your specific situation. My job here is to give you the numbers so you can walk into that conversation already knowing what to ask. Let's start with the 3 states that are costing retirees the most money right now, because the state that lands in the top spot is going to shock you. Coming in at number 3 on the worst list is Vermont. Stunning place. Covered bridges, maple syrup, some of the most beautiful autumn views anywhere in the country. But financially, it's one of the most punishing places in America to retire on a fixed income. Vermont starts taxing your Social Security the moment your income crosses $50,000 as a single filer. That's the lowest threshold in the nation. Not close to the lowest. Your pension gets taxed at rates climbing up to 8.75%. Your 401k withdrawals, same rate. Your IRA distributions, same rate. And then Vermont has a 16% estate tax waiting in the wings after you're gone. Let me put a number on that. A retiree pulling $50,000 a year from a pension and collecting $25,000 in Social Security is looking at $3,000 to $4,000 every year in state income tax on retirement money they already paid federal tax on. And that's before you add in some of the steepest property taxes in the Northeast. Most people who settle in Vermont do it for the scenery. Very few of them ever run the tax math before signing the papers. Number 2 on the worst list is Minnesota. And I already know the pushback. Mayo Clinic, world-class hospitals, top-tier healthcare, all absolutely true. But none of that softens the blow when the state grabs 9.85% of your retirement income off the top. Minnesota taxes your pension, your 401k, and your IRA withdrawals at that rate. It still taxes Social Security for anyone earning above roughly $84,000, and it slaps an estate tax on anything above $3 million. Run the numbers on a retiree with a $65,000 pension and $25,000 in Social Security, and you're looking at around $4,500 a year going straight to the state. That's $375 coming out of your retirement check every single month for the rest of your life, month after month, year after year. Gone. But none of that compares to what's happening in the number 1 worst state, California. The top marginal income tax rate in California is 13.3%, the highest in America. Now, to California's credit, they do exempt Social Security from state tax. That's real and it matters. But every other dollar you worked your whole life to save, they want a piece of all of it. Your pension is taxed. Your 401k is taxed. Your IRA distributions are taxed. Your annuity income is taxed. No retiree carve-out. No special exclusion. No deduction designed to protect seniors. A retiree pulling $60,000 from a pension and $30,000 from an IRA is handing California roughly $5,400 a year in state income tax alone. And that's before you even mention the median home price creeping toward $900,000 or wildfire insurance premiums that have literally doubled in the last 5 years. Do the compound math. $5,400 a year across 20 years of retirement is over $108,000 in state income tax on money you already saved, already earned, already paid federal taxes on once. That's a paid-off car. That's a grandchild's college tuition. That's the down payment on a second home somewhere cheaper. Just gone. So now you're probably thinking the answer is obvious. Just move to a state with no income tax. Florida, Nevada, Tennessee, Texas. Pack the moving truck. But hold on, because this is where most retirees make the most expensive mistake of their entire retirement. Every state needs revenue. The states that advertise no income tax collect it somewhere else, and sometimes that somewhere else costs you more than the income tax ever would have. Property taxes, sales taxes, hurricane and wildfire insurance that's tripled in some zip codes, HOA dues that rise every single year. So when I put together this ranking, I didn't just look at one line. I looked at 5. Retirement income tax treatment, property taxes and housing costs, healthcare access, overall cost of living, and hidden expenses like insurance premiums and estate taxes. That's the only honest way to rank these. Let me count down the 5 best states, starting at number 5. And trust me, the surprise winner near the top is going to flip the way you think about this entire question. Number 5 is Iowa, the quiet overachiever in the Midwest. Iowa completely rewrote its tax code in the last couple of years, and starting at age 55, every single dollar of your retirement income is exempt from state tax. Social Security, pensions, 401k, IRA, all of it, zero. On top of that, Iowa wiped out its inheritance tax entirely in 2025. Gone. The flat state income tax is dropping to 3.9%, but as a retiree, you won't even see that rate applied to your retirement money. Now, Iowa isn't perfect. Winters are brutal. Metro amenities outside Des Moines are limited. Property taxes sit around 1%, which isn't cheap. And outside the bigger cities, access to specialist healthcare can be thin. But on pure retirement income protection, Iowa is quietly doing something most people haven't caught on to yet. If you can handle the cold, the tax math is genuinely hard to beat. Number 4 is Nevada. No state income tax, no estate tax, no inheritance tax, and property taxes that sit at the 3rd lowest in the entire country, just 0.47%. A retiree with a $400,000 home in the Las Vegas area is paying roughly $1,100 to $880 a year in property tax. That's it. That's the whole bill. But here's the catch. Most brochures leave out healthcare. Nevada ranks 35th nationally in physician density, with about 188 doctors per 100,000 residents. Compare that to Pennsylvania at 280 per 100,000. If you're healthy and don't see specialists often, Nevada is fantastic. But if you're planning for the next 15, 20, 25 years of retirement, and you want a deep network of doctors who can actually get you in before your problem becomes an emergency, that shortage matters a lot. Number 3 is the one I've been building toward, and it's the state almost nobody would ever list in a best retirement states video. Pennsylvania. I can already hear the objection. It has an income tax. How can it possibly be top 3? Stay with me, because this is where the magic is hiding. Pennsylvania exempts 100% of your Social Security from state tax, 100% of your pension, whether it's public or private, 100% of your 401k withdrawals, 100% of your IRA distributions, no income cap, no phase out, none. The flat 3.07% rate only hits earned income, investment income, and capital gains. So if you're a typical retiree living off Social Security, a pension, and retirement account withdrawals, your Pennsylvania state income tax bill is literally zero. Functionally the same as Florida. Functionally the same as Tennessee. Functionally the same as Nevada. But no one talks about it because the second people see the words income tax, they close the tab. Here's what that looks like in dollars. Remember the retiree in California paying $400 a year in state income tax? Drop that exact same person into Pennsylvania, and their pension and Social Security tax drops to zero. The only thing they pay Pennsylvania on is investment income. If they earn $30,000 from dividends and interest, the state takes 3.07%, or $921. That's the total state income tax bill. $921 versus $5,400. That's $4,179 back in their pocket every single year for doing nothing except choosing the right address. So why isn't Pennsylvania number 1? 2 reasons. Property taxes in many parts of the state run $6,000 to $9,000 a year on the kind of home most retirees actually want. And Pennsylvania charges a 4.5% inheritance tax on money you leave to your children, and 12% to siblings. On a $1 million estate to your kids, that's roughly $45,000 gone. Those are real costs. I'm not going to pretend they don't exist. They're the reason Pennsylvania lands at 3 instead of 1. But for a retiree from the Northeast who wants zero tax on retirement income and world-class hospitals within a short drive, Pennsylvania might quietly be number 1 on your personal list. That's the whole point. The best state is the one that matches your numbers, not the one that makes the best headline. Let me show you how this plays out in real life. Picture a married couple, both 68. He has a $72,000 pension. She collects $24,000 from Social Security. They pull another $15,000 from dividends and interest. Combined household income, $111,000. In California, they'd pay roughly $7,200 in state income tax. In Minnesota, about $6,800. In Vermont, around $5,000. In Pennsylvania, the pension is exempt, the Social Security is exempt. The only thing taxed is that $15,000 of investment income at 3.07%. Their bill, $460, from $7,200 down to $460. That's $740 saved every year. Multiply that across 15 years of retirement, and it's over $101,000 in their pocket. Same income, different state. Now compare that to Florida. 0 state income tax, so it sounds like the obvious winner, but their homeowners insurance in Sarasota runs $7,800 a year. In the Philadelphia suburbs, about $400. That's a $6,400 gap in insurance alone before you even bring up flood coverage. And since Pennsylvania already exempts pensions, there's no extra tax to save by fleeing to Florida. You'd pay $6,400 or more in insurance to save nothing in pension tax. The math backfires. That doesn't mean Florida is the wrong choice for everyone, far from it. If you want warm weather 365 days a year and your home sits inland in a low-risk zone with manageable insurance, Florida is outstanding. But if the only thing driving the move is that no income tax headline, you owe it to yourself to run the full comparison before you lift a single box. Number 2 is Tennessee. No income tax, no estate tax, no inheritance tax, property taxes averaging just 0.56%. Nashville has seriously strong hospitals with Vanderbilt right there. Cost of living runs about 7% below the national average. Tennessee earns this ranking fair and square. But here's the one blind spot that almost nobody brings up. Tennessee has the highest combined sales tax in America, roughly 9.6%, and it taxes groceries at 4%. A retiree spending $50,000 a year on taxable goods is quietly handing the state nearly $4,800 a year in sales tax. That's about $400 a month that never shows up in any tax-free state ranking you'll read online. Pennsylvania, for comparison, exempts groceries and clothing from sales tax entirely. Over a 20-year retirement, that spread adds up to serious money. Tennessee is still excellent. It's still top tier. But the sales tax eats more of the savings than most retirees realize. And number 1 is Florida. Florida genuinely earns this spot. No state income tax, written right into the state constitution, so no governor can change it on a whim. No estate tax, no inheritance tax. An entire infrastructure built around retirees, active adult communities, geriatric specialists, major airports within an hour of almost anywhere you'd want to live. The homestead exemption locks in your property tax with a 3% annual cap on assessment increases. On the full scorecard, Florida comes out on top, but I'd be letting you down if I stopped there. Homeowners insurance in Florida now averages over $7,000 a year, the highest in the nation. In coastal counties, policies routinely hit $10,000 and up, plus mandatory flood insurance on top. Hurricane risk is baked into every single quote. A retiree who saves $3,000 by ditching state income tax, then spends $500-600 more on insurance than they would in the Northeast, just lost money on the move. Florida absolutely works, and it works beautifully for millions of people. But you have to run every line of the budget, not just one. Here's what changed in 2026 that makes this ranking different from anything published before. The One Big Beautiful Bill introduced a brand new $6,000 senior bonus deduction at the federal level. If you're 65 or older with modified adjusted gross income under $75,000 single or $150,000 joint, you get an extra $6,000 deduction stacked on top of everything else. $12,000 for a married couple where both spouses qualify. This did not exist before 2025. It changed the calculation on which state saves you the most because it reduces your federal taxable income no matter where you live. On top of that, the SALT deduction cap jumped from $10,000 all the way to $40,400. For retirees in high property tax states who itemize, that's a seismic shift. If you quietly gave up itemizing back in 2017 and have been taking the standard deduction on autopilot ever since, it's time to run the numbers again. The answer may have completely flipped. And with this week's tariff-driven sell-off dragging retirement accounts lower, Roth conversions in a down market are more attractive than they've been in years. If you're between 62 and 73, converting traditional IRA money to a Roth, while balances are depressed, means you pay tax on a smaller number, and every dollar of future growth comes out tax-free. But the state you live in controls what that conversion actually costs. A $50,000 Roth conversion in California costs you roughly $6,850 in extra state tax. That same conversion in Pennsylvania costs you $0 because IRA distributions are fully exempt. Same move, same dollar amount. Wildly different price tags, all because of geography. Here's what it all comes down to. There's no single best state for every retiree, and anyone telling you otherwise is selling you something. Florida wins if sunshine and zero income tax top your list, and you can absorb the insurance. Tennessee wins if rock bottom property taxes and cost of living matter most, and the sales tax doesn't scare you. Nevada wins on simplicity and cheap housing as long as healthcare access isn't a deal breaker. Iowa is the dark horse if you can handle the winters. And Pennsylvania is the state almost everyone overlooks because they never get past the words income tax on the first page of search results. The smartest move you can make is running the actual math on your own situation, your pension, your Social Security, your 401k, your IRA, your home value, your insurance, your healthcare needs, all of it together. Not chasing a headline, running the numbers. Now you know which states quietly protect your retirement and which ones are siphoning thousands out of it every year. But here's the part most people never get to. Once you land in the right state, you still have to make sure you're claiming every single deduction you're legally owed. That new $6,000 senior bonus deduction I just mentioned, most tax software isn't flagging it automatically yet. If it slipped past you on your 2025 return, you can still file an amendment and claim it. If this helped you see your retirement picture more clearly, give the video a quick like. It genuinely helps more retirees find this information when they need it most. And if you know someone planning a move in the next year or two, send this their way. Picking the right state instead of the wrong one could easily mean over $100,000 across a 20-year retirement. Drop a comment below and tell me, what state are you retiring in, and how much is it costing you? I read every single one, and the most common situations shape the next videos. I'll see you in the next one.